So I have to, I'm making a quick little video to explain something that I failed to cover in one of the other videos. And so this is going to be for question, um, it's going to be for question 2 at the very end. It says to explain pressure volume curves for a single cardiac cycle. I was a little confused when we were doing it. And so basically a pressure volume curve is something like this. I'll have, let me see. And so it goes something like this, except it's got more straight lines than that. And so we'll have a point here, and we go like that. This is a pretty ugly drawing of it. But basically what we have here is we have, so this part right here is going to be when, move this chair, is when the mitral valve opens and filling of the ventricle begins. It's going to go along. Let me actually do this. This would be easier if I said this was pressure and this was volume. There we are. So the valve opens, blood rushes in. The valve is now going to close. Now when the valve closes, pressure is going to increase because it's going to contract. Once it contracts to a certain amount of pressure, it is then going to open up the semilunar valve. Or the aortic valve. When that opens, it's going to then shoot the blood out. We're going to lose a lot of volume, and then that valve is going to close, and then the other valve, the aortic valve, closes, and then it's going to relax, no more pressure, and then we're going to be back to normal. There's few things that this valve, that this graph, curve, loop. It's a volume loop graph, I think, pressure volume loop graph. There's two things that it really is sort of, I guess, that's important, is we have preload. We also have afterload, which is going to be, I guess really it's above the afterload. And you can increase both of those things, but increasing them will do different things. And so if we increase preload, or if we increase afterload, let's actually go for afterload. If we increase afterload, what we're probably going to end up doing is we're going to have, because this corner of the graph right here always needs to hit the line. So if we want to increase our afterload and we want it higher, we're going to do something where we're probably going to come up here, like all the way up here, then come across, come down. So now we just increased our afterload. But something we did do is we decreased our stroke volume. Now our stroke volume is only here. And our preload is smaller too. Similarly, if we want to increase our preload, what we can do is we can have it come by around like here, have the guy come down. Oop, well, I went a little too far. But we can have the red line. See, now we just increased our preload by a bit. But now our afterload used to be up here, or even our control, which was right here, now it's all the way down here. And so basically what those do is they're talking about the sorry about that. So preload is going to be the stretching of the heart, increasing it to get more volume, more blood in. Afterload is going to be the pressure that is then overcome and needed to eject the actual blood. Now, you can have an increased afterload or an increased preload, either one, and actually change the inotropy of the graph, because that's what the slope is. And so I did it all on the same slope, but I mean, you can have a graph that's like this. Inotropy is going out here. There we go. And you can have stroke volume that's like this. But then if you increase your afterload, we keep the preload more or less the same. Now you're all the way up here. That is a terrible drawing. Holy cow. Now you're all the way up here. Now your inotropy is not down here. It's more like this. There we go. Oh my gosh. I can't with expo markers. But now you can see that the inotropy is going like this, and now it's going like that. And so it's a lot more steep. There's a lot more inotropy on this heart up here as opposed to this one. But that's a pressure volume loop. And I didn't actually go into that on the other video because I was confused as to what I was asking about. But yeah, here we are.